Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay and welcome back to Siralim Ultimate. I am finally back to this game. The last episode I recorded for this was months ago. It was, I think, in August. That was when I did my last batch of episodes, and at the time I predicted that when September started, I would not have time to play this game or to properly record this game for a long time, and indeed, that is exactly what transpired. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait for the entire year to go by before I was able to record again, because right now it is November 16th. So, August, so September, and October, and half of November went by before I was able to play. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I was tempted during that period of time to either play by myself or to start a new save file, but I chose not to do that. I am proud of the discipline that I was able to exercise. The reason I didn't want to play by myself on this save file is obvious, right? Because this is the Let's Play save file. I don't want stuff happening off screen, other than the very long tutorial segments of the game which I skipped before the series even started. But now that we're doing things properly, I'm like, we're not gonna be, I'm not gonna be playing by myself and robbing you guys of that experience now. The reason I didn't start a fresh save file, like, there's nothing wrong with it per se, but I was like, if I keep playing, then I might make myself get, tired of this game, and then when the time comes to record, I won't have the same energy, the same eagerness to get into things. Of course, the downside is that having been away from the game so long, I'm gonna have to remind myself how everything works. But you know what? I'm sure that once we get back into it, the old muscle memory will kick in. And the other thing is, like, this was a long and dramatic, departure, like a dramatic period of time away from the game for me. But for you, it'll literally be just one day, right? I think I'm when I'm uploading this later, I'll know which day of the week this episode will be. But I think the previous episode, like the big, not farewell, but taking a break from the game episode, was like it dropped in the middle of the week, I think. So to you, it's just gonna be another day in the week. To me, this represents coming back to the game after a long time, and if it doesn't feel as dramatic to you as it does to me, then it just means I planned out this series too well in terms of having a backlog that'll be able to cover any potential absence I might have. One final thing to note before we jump into it. I feel like my voice maybe sounds a little bit nasal. For once, I'm not actually sick this time. It's because yesterday I got both my flu shot and my updated COVID shot, and so obviously they were like, you might have some mild symptoms. So if I sound like I'm slightly sick, then that is the reason. Okay, now getting into it, right? Getting into the game. We've got some decisions to make, right? Because before we ended off, some important things happened. We ascended the animator as a class, and that means, strictly speaking, I don't think there is anything left for us to do with this class specifically, other than, just keep our creatures, or, like, This is the class that I am most familiar with. So before any other class is fully built, this will be the one that I'm using to do tough challenges. But I do think it's time to start building a new class. Either, and like as much fun as it would be to go and change specializations and to build a new specialization from scratch. Like, look at the amount of specializations there are. And yes, it would be fun to go into them all in depth, but here's the problem. For every single one of these specializations, there are achievements tied to number one, just flat winning a lot of realms with them, and number two, ascending them at the gate of the gods, which would mean beating all of the gods level 10 or higher. And to take the time to do every single one of them, I think would make this series so long that you couldn't physically complete it. The alternative to that is, and this is what I've been leaning towards, is a sort of universal class that works regardless of what your specialization is, that you can start with. Well, some of them aren't really gonna work, like, you know, the deprived, I think, or the one where it limits the things you can do. So those ones we're gonna have to come up with some really you know, some unique solutions, like, so the deprived. So fusions, avatars, and relics are not available to the deprived. And then there's another one, I think, the pariah, I think, where you have fewer creatures. So these ones, I am gonna leave those for the far future. But what we could do with the rest of these is we could come up with some class that works based only on anointments and not their class traits, which is like a cheap and a non-immersive kind of way to play. But if the goal is to get 100% in this game within the span of one human lifetime, I think that's going to be the way we have to go. But for now, we're not going to do that. So that's one of our goals, is to come up with some sort of build that isn't an animator. It could be like we select another class and then, you know, theory craft and then play it properly. And then that could be fun. Like, I might do it for one or two classes, but eventually we're gonna have to come up with an all-purpose build that works with any class. The other thing is, there are other long-term things that we need to get done in this series, or like long time horizon things, and one of them, I think, has got to be... Hang on, one thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take a look at my anointments. I made a list of my anointments, but I don't remember where I put it. Is that when I swap out this class for something else, I'm gonna have to swap out my anointments, and, okay, so, let me just take a... screenshot of that. Actually, that's not enough, so let me let me just go into Notepad and I'll make a list of this. So new, so Shimmer is Kabbalist, and Graveborn is Heart That Thrives. Not all of these are like as vital. Like Shimmer is one of the more important ones. Heart That Thrives could be like a take it or leave it thing, but this is a Graveborn one, I think. And let me just wrong thing. Hang on. Then one Reaver anointment, which is Onslaught. This one actually is quite important. And then finally, two Wind Runner anointments, which is Retention and Singleton. And let me save this as I feel like I made another set of notes in August, giving myself more detailed instructions about what to do. And if I did, it's gonna be somewhere on this computer. That's gonna be a whole separate adventure game trying to hunt that down. But anyway, at least I need to know what anointments I had before I swap everything out. And now excuse me, now it's time to quickly swap myself with the full Dumpling party. Default. What was the difference between Default Animator and Animator Mark II? See, I've already forgotten why I made this. So this one has a Biobot instead of the Vivifier. And this is... seems like... and everyone's fully leveled up, unlike this. You know what, I'm gonna have to watch the video where I made this to remind myself of why this is going on. I'm gonna have to rewatch this. But for now, we're actually gonna switch to the full Dumpling party. The Dumpling Grind party was the one with the dumpling in it. But we're gonna switch to the full Dumpling party. Yeah. And now, this is what our party looks like. What I'm gonna do is, I'm going to level up everybody. All of these guys. As high as they can get. Okay. Do we unlock anything? Because we just gained a whole bunch of levels. No? Or maybe we're already at the max for that little achievement list. And now we gotta go into our anointments. And okay, it was a Pyromancer anointment. It was called... what? Conflict? No, hang on. There was a... after an enemy takes Firestarter, if your creatures are killed, always have Burning. Roaring Blaze? Maybe it wasn't Pyromancer. I feel like... no, it must have been. The reason I'm... so... I probably should have taken a look at what my last line of thinking was on this. Because I thought I had unlocked... was it Inquisitor? Censure... later... no... No. Hell. Oh, it was Hell Knight. It was Hell Knight. It was Hell Knight. It was Kindling. It was Hell Knight. It was Kindling. At the start of battle, the first creature in your party casts Firestorm. Alright. So let me, which... Onslaught. We'll keep Onslaught. It was the Graveborn one. I'm just gonna disable this. And I'm gonna go to Hell Knight. I'm gonna enable Kindling. And... Okay, I didn't go into detail about why I'm running with this Dumpling Party. I mentioned that there's a long time horizon task that we needed to do. But before I do... Okay, I've already been going 15 minutes in this episode, and we haven't yet gone into a realm. Now the thing is, there's one Dumpling creature that we have not summoned yet. For that, let's go to our bestiary. It's sorted by race. Clockwork. We'll be seeing the dumplings soon. There we go. So we have the regular dumpling, melon, nugget, omelet. I think the most recent acquisition, the pudding and squash. The only thing we haven't gotten is the king dumpling. And as far as I can tell, what you're supposed to do to get this is to just go into I'm gonna lower this to instability 0. I will leave it at whatever the instability is, but we won't bother with re-rolling it, because I mean we'll get a slight item bonus, you know, for whatever that's worth. And we're gonna do low realm instability runs. I just want to see if this works the way I think it will. Are we instantly gonna win? Just by, you know, just by getting into combat. Because that is gonna be crucial. Because if we have to manually fight enemies, that's gonna make this process quite a lot longer. Okay, so already I'm noticing one flaw is that this is not gonna work. Excuse me? What is going on? How is he dodging everything? What was that all about? This is how I want battles to go. We go in, they die, and it's all over. Hey, look, we got one achievement. Alright. This is a horrible realm to start out with because these because of the fact that, oh my god, these guys have a... Oh my god. This is fucking ridiculous. I don't want to give up on favor, you know. That's one thing we could do. So what I'm doing here is, supposedly, if you encounter a nether portal in a realm, while you have a full dumpling party, it'll be a chance of being a portal that can give you an encounter with the Dumpling King. But obviously, in order to do that, we are gonna have to play a lot of realms, find a lot of portals, and then hope that one of them is gonna be the one. How long is that gonna take? Luck-based, and it also depends on whether it works the way I think it does, and it, you know, there's a chance that it might not. But at least so far... Are you actually serious right now? Nemesis creatures, alright. So it's working well so far. There we go. There's a realm quest done. And there's a riddle dwarf who haven't seen in a... Man, come on. Nemesis creatures are going to be annoying just because they'll have ways that prevent them from dying occasionally, or that will resurrect them, and then we'll have to kill them the slow way. Fist of Tauren. Alright, I'm gonna have to look up my Riddle Dwarf list. That is a nature spell, Fist of Tauren. Gives me a ticket. Alright. I'm really only going to be exploring these realms enough so that I'm convinced that there's no nether portal that we're leaving behind. Yeah, and this is a pretty terrible realm to start out with. Just because of the whole issue of enemies pilgrimage? That's nice. Okay, I'm gonna look at my prophecies. We need to do one more experiment, and we need to start doing raids. And the assassination as well, we need to find some of those. Death creatures will be killed. A dumpling we will just eventually find. So we'll do an experiment, then we'll start another pilgrimage with whoever we are lowest with. 33 seems to be the lowest. It does, so let's get it with Aeolian. And hey, get another achievement for, alright, another one there. And let's just carry on. I'm gonna lower it to instability 0, just because this is a little bit much. Alright. Our donation, and one thing we're gonna have to do is see, this is how I expect battles to go. Yeah, we don't really even want to fight enemies, really. We're just trying to get through realms quickly, searching for special encounters. And the other thing that we're going to be accumulating while we're doing this is resources and favor with the gods. And occasionally we'll be completing, well, not fully completing prophecies, but because there are things we won't be able to do while we're doing this. And chief among those things will be, we're not going to be fighting nether gods because nether bosses, because nether bosses require you to go down deeper into your, you know, like beyond the deepest you've gone so far. And for the same reason, we're not going to be fighting... Are you serious? Man. Okay, well... Alright. What I'm going to do is, let me... So, right now, this dumpling, his strategy is to use a macro. I'm just going to change it to attack. I'm just going to change it to attack. And so far, we're not really seeing a lot. I mean, we're only 2 realms in. We can't draw too many conclusions about what the rate of spawning for special encounters might be. What I've been told is that you shouldn't be penalized for this one thing if you're on a lower realm depth. Who are you? You're a rebel. You were a rebel. Yep. Ugh. Come on. Skull piles granted. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So one concrete bit of progress we're going to be making is we're going to be getting more favor with the gods, which is going to help us when we come to these realms later on, because we'll have more bonuses. This is what oh my god. I'm gonna come to really hate enemies that can survive that initial kindling. Okay, so nothing here either. Eventually, probably what's gonna happen is, because we're doing these low level realms, I'm gonna have to start cutting out things, and I'll only give you the highlights. So if I go through a realm and I find no random encounters and nothing else interesting happens, I'll probably just have to, you know, accept that nothing interesting happened there, and then, you know, we'll just try again next realm. Oh, this is always gonna be fun. Here we go. Here's another realm, except it's this dude. Alright, mimic. I'm a loser. Yep, you know what? I'm not even gonna argue. But that's our first nether realm. Basically, we need to find lots of these. We can only find one of them per realm, sadly. And the one we found in this realm has already proven to be a dud. And there we go, another easy win. And we get some favor with Tauren out of that. buried treasure. Yeah, this is how I want most battles to go. If most battles go that way, we are gonna be happy. This is why I turned realm instability down. Because I do not want situations where like, I want to minimize the number of situations where we've got enemies surviving this initial attack. Okay. I'm glad I remembered where this, you know, the kindling anointment came from. Because had I not been able to remember, this entire scheme would have failed right before we even got going. Because an exercise like this, where you're just doing realm after realm, trying to find something, like, you're not gonna... It's not gonna be an enjoyable process if you then actually have to fight every single individual combat. Like, you've got to manually give orders. Yeah, see, that would have not worked out to our benefit. One downside to playing on a low realm depth and no instability is that, of course, we're going to be getting very low amounts of loot. I don't expect to find even a single card throughout this endeavor. Maybe we'll find one, you know, rare things do still happen, they're just rare. But I wouldn't be surprised if throughout this entire exercise we don't find a single card. Alright, looks like we're gonna be pretty soon getting more favor with Tauren. There we go. Treasure from all sources. Sounds fantastic. I'm not quite done. There's the mini quest that I want to finish. I think there's a couple of these houses. Oh, there we go. There we've gotten the favor. And is there anything in this round that... No, we've quite thoroughly done it. Now we do have a project to hand in. Two projects, actually. Alright. Got our raid done. We need to do another raid, I guess? And we're not rank S with the Sparktail officer yet. So let me start a new hunt on the Sparktail officer. Basically, my main goal is just getting as many creatures into S rank as we can. Just because it seems like the thing to do. And we'll start another raid. And let me see how long we've been going. At the 34-minute mark. We can do this. We can blast through these realms, no problem, because we're getting through them so quickly. There we go. Gambler's Hive, always a fun place to be. Always a fun place to be. Ooh, I was saying earlier that it wouldn't surprise me if we don't get a single card throughout this entire, you know, exercise of trying to find the King Dumpling. But there is one other way to find cards, like, which doesn't depend on you finding them as loot. There's a rare Netherrealm encounter where you talk to a guy and then he just gives you a card. Like, he gives you a choice of 3. And then he just gives it to you. So I wouldn't mind coming across that encounter. Just a little hint to the game, in case, you know, it's wondering what I want for Christmas. That's what I want for Christmas. I want cards. And this is another thing, what? I think he just gave us a buff, which is really annoying. Really annoying. Alright. Alright. Krampus. Alright, take you and let's keep on going. Are you a riddle dwarf? I think that might be a riddle dwarf on the top right and not one of the hostile dwarves that is native to this realm. Hey, look, took something to rank S. Abundance. I don't know, so I'm just gonna cheat. That is a nature spell. Good to know. Oh my... What? What garbage is this? Oh my god. Ugh. What? Man, come. What? What? Why does he have all these buffs? Oh my god. The worst. Worst. Probably the worst affix for us to run into, precisely for that reason. It's gonna give enemies a way to resurrect. Although, hang on a second. If I look at anointments, or maybe not anointments, maybe it was a trait that prevented all resurrections. I'll look into that in between episodes. I feel like I remember there being a trait, either a trait or an anointment, that prevented resurrections outright. And it applied to both you and your enemy. That could be a good thing to invest in. For now, though, I'm just getting used to the basic rhythm of how this kind of farming is gonna work, and yep, we're just gonna keep going. Alright. New realm, because there's nothing going back. Nothing going on back at home. Another random realm. Alright, back in this place. Alright. A B&D, I think, gives us treasure. But we didn't get it that time. And obviously summoning candle enemies isn't gonna do a lot for us with our item bonuses so low. One thing is, have we donated? We haven't, so I'm glad I came back here to check. I am still gonna hit up these chests just because, like, you never know what you'll find. You never know. good. Alright. And let's keep on going. Oh, there's another Pandemonium Shrine, which is not the kind of special encounter we're looking for, but which I think we need some of these for our prophecy. 30 with every god. That gives us favor. Alright. And kill you. Gaining favor with the gods is gonna be a pretty good thing as well. When we eventually get back into playing this game properly, once we're hopefully done with this dumpling grind process, I think we will reap the benefits of you know, the gods being friendlier with us, because they'll give us some bonuses that are for their realms specifically, so like each realm will become either more profitable or easier depending on what bonuses they've given us. But also, I think some bonuses, like the loot from all sources, I think those ones might apply globally. And if that's the case, then obviously it's gonna do us quite a bit of good to get our favor with the gods as high up as we can. Hang on. It was a prophecies. No, codex. Reference list. It was something poet, wasn't it? Or am I losing my mind? No, am I? Oh, it was poem, something poem. It seems like I'm losing my mind. Like, what am I doing searching for poetry? Well, there's a... No? Was it an anointment? Hang on, let me look this up. It was something poem, wasn't it? The one that prevents resurrections. Siralim ultimate traits. Let me look. Let me look through my list of anointments pretty quickly. So, tribalist? Sorcerer? No. Okay, I'm gonna give up on this pretty soon. Because it's looking like there was a thing, right? Hang on. Let me just look up in the trait list. Let me, okay, it was the barbarian poem is the name of the trait material. Barbarian poem is the name of the trait material, and the actual trait is called Hate and Other Triumphs. I knew I wasn't losing my mind. I knew I wasn't losing my mind. I think maybe if we have that equipped, it'll shut down enemy resurrections. And the trait is called Hate and Other Triumphs. The material is called the Barbarian Poem. This is why it's tough to keep track of everything, because traits are tied to specific creatures, which will drop a specific trait material, but then the trait itself will have a different name. And when you're searching for it, you kind of have to remember the name of the trait rather than the material, even though it's the material that you end up socketing. Where the hell is the exit? It's right there. It's the material that you end up socketing into your item to get that trait. But, yeah, right. Here's what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna create a new artifact. It doesn't really matter. Boots, sure. Alright, and upgrade. Yep. Where are the... Okay, these are the new boots that I guess... Oh no, this is the improbable catapult boots. I'm gonna hold on to these. In fact, I'm gonna rename... What? No. What? Brand. I'm gonna call these the trait launcher boots. Just me, bear with me. I know this isn't exactly breathtaking action right now, but I do want to have my stuff slightly organized. There we go. And confirm. And now let's upgrade these boots. Maximum tier. Alright, and now socket into these boots. Do we have a barbarian poem? Well, we're gonna find out soon. No, we... Hang on, where do we get a barbarian poem from? Hang on. An ultimate hate and other something. What? Triumphs? Hate and other triumphs. A trait from a creature in Regalis's god shop. I see. Regalis? Okay. Which creature is it? Well, next time we're in the... You know what, let's... We don't have anything to hand in, right? Oh, it was one of the elves, I think. It was one of the elves. Right. It was one of the elves. So let's go into our bestiary. We're looking for elves. I think we've gone a little bit too far. Have we? Yeah, those are exotics. Okay. Okay, here we go. Elf Barbarian, there we go. Hate and other triumphs. This is gonna be our next long-term, well, actually, hang on. We can summon an Elf Barbarian and fuse it with one of my dumplings, but I'd, like... Okay, here's how this is gonna work. We will... What is our current party? So dumpling, melon, pudding, squash, vegetable dumpling. I don't want to fuse any of my dumplings. I know I have been told that it doesn't matter if they're fused or not, but it just feels like such a permanent change. So instead what we'll do is if we are still doing this grind, you know, in like if this grind lasts long enough, we will start hunting the Elf Barbarian to get our knowledge rank with it to S rank, and then we will assassinate it to get the trade material, and then we will put that trade material into these boots. And that's going to take a long time. It's possible that we find what we want in the meantime, but it's also possible that we don't. Anyway, I've spent a long time just trying to remind myself basic things that about this game that I've forgotten in the several months that I've been away. And I think I've largely situated myself. Before we end off this video though, because we are coming towards the end, I want to do one last random realm. There we go, back to the gamblers. Back to the gamblers. Just, you know, because I want to... There we go, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, no guarantee we'll get what we want. What are you? You're the rat stamper. You're gonna... finish one of my prophecies. So what did you actually do for me? I don't remember, but the only ones left are one more raid and the assassination mission, and then we can hand it in. So it was worth it. We gained one extra chance, one extra nether portal, which could have given us what we wanted, or could have given us some other really cool rare encounters. And you know, you just keep going until you get what you are looking for. All right. All right. Did that. We're just gonna take a look. We know there's not gonna be a second nether portal. However, there could be. Like, there could be an... it's unlikely, but there could be another stone lying on the ground. Right, we're also collecting these materials that we need to complete our projects. And every time we open a chest, there's a very slim chance that we find some sort of rare loot from it. But yeah. The kindling anointment is definitely the thing that's making this entire process possible. Because without it, like, if we had to actually fight enemies properly, oof, that would not be fun. That would not be fun. I mean, it would be fun, but for a while. it would stop being fun sometime around the 100th realm in a row that we had to do. Because when it comes to this, you know, long farming type of activity that you're often doing in RPGs, the main thing is finding a way of doing things quickly and efficiently, even if it's not necessarily the most, you know, realistic or immersive game experience, because you know, you're going in there with a specific objective in mind, and then the question is, what can I do to raise my probability of getting the thing that I need? Alright. There we go. Lovely. Alright, I think now we're done. Well, I mean, there could be a chest. Oh my god. It doesn't really look like you should be able to walk through, but no. It is a barrier, you know, using RPG logic. Our path is blocked, even though it very obviously isn't. But you know what, that's fine. It's just what happens. Alright, I think now we're done, and now we are gonna head back home. I'm gonna start wrapping things up. Check. Check. Yeah, we have donated. Okay. Head back home. Alright. Now, before we end off, I guess I should just reiterate what we've been doing in this episode. Because it is a very strange and very specific thing we're trying to accomplish, I will probably be explaining it multiple times. Probably every single episode I will at least remind you of what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do, what we have been trying to do in this episode is trying to find the King Dumpling. And as far as I can tell, the way you find the King Dumpling is you are looking for a nether portal while you have a party that is fully composed of all of the other dumplings that you have, with the possible exception of the nugget. So, like, we have 6 other dumplings aside from the King Dumpling and the nugget. We've got the regular dumpling, the melon, the omelet, and the pudding and the squash and the vegetable dumpling. And if you have this pure dumpling party, that's what I've been told based on the guides that are posted online, that if you have this full dumpling party, then when you encounter nether portals, they have a chance of spawning in an encounter with the King Dumpling, and it is through that encounter that you are able to summon this creature. So that is what we've been trying to accomplish, and that is what we are going to continue to try to accomplish in videos to come. But yes, that is going to be all for this episode. I hope you had a good time. I hope you weren't too annoyed by how rusty I was after having taken a almost like September, October, half of November, and let's say half of August, like 3-month break from this game basically. But it is coming back to me, and I think we've settled into a nice groove in terms of getting through these realms quickly. The only thing is going to be, can we shut down enemy resurrections? And I'll see if a barbarian poem helps us do that. So that's going to be another sort of a shorter term goal while we're doing this longer term project of trying to hunt down the King Dumpling. But yes, once again, that is going to be all for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will join me for the next episode as well, where we are just going to be doing more of this. And until then, take care.